Viserys Targaryen's tragic death marked the end of House of the Dragon Episode 8. Anyone who watched the show's first season could feel the king's suffering and emotion as he lay on his deathbed. Paddy Considine gave a dismal performance as a man who tried his absolute hardest to avert a Targaryen apocalypse but failed miserably. How did the King Viserys die in House of the Dragon? House of the Dragon star Paddy Considine burst into tears watching Viserys' scene. What makes him so emotional? First up, how did the King Viserys die in House of the Dragon? In House of the Dragon, one of the first things we discover was that King Viserys Targaryen was passing away gradually. By the time we got to episode 8, he had deteriorated into a shadow of his former self due to an illness slowly eating away from him. After being cut by one of the Iron Throne's blades and becoming infected with the sickness, King Viserys developed a sort of leprosy. His skin and nerves started to deteriorate as this type of leprosy slowly rotted him from the inside out. He eventually passed away because of how frail he had grown. King Viserys' illness was never explicitly described in the series. Still, Paddy Considine, who plays Viserys, gave us more information about the condition when he spoke on the West of Westeros podcast. Considine declared he's actually suffering from a form of leprosy. His body is deteriorating and his bones are deteriorating. He's not old, he's still a young man in there. He's unfortunately got this thing that's taken over his body. It becomes a metaphor for being king and the stress and strain it puts on you, and what it does to you physically and mentally. Next up, what happens now that King Viserys Targaryen, Paddy Considine, has died? The tragic death of Viserys Targaryen marked the conclusion of House of the Dragon Episode 8. However, most of the drama started when he delivered his prophecy to Alicent Hightower, Olivia Cook, in his last moments. When Viserys refers to Aegon, the prince who was promised, Alicent takes it to refer to her son, Aegon Targaryen, Tom Glencarny. However, she doesn't know that Rhaenyra Targaryen, Emma Darcy, also gave her son the name Aegon. In the hours following Viserys' death, a small council meeting is called, and there is a contentious discussion concerning Aegon being proclaimed king over Rhaenyra being named queen. Although we were aware that Otto Hightower had long anticipated this conclusion, his admission in public that he had done so even before Viserys mentioned the prophecy astounded his daughter, Alicent. Most present were comfortable with Aegon being designated heir. They recalled Rhaenys Targaryen's frank statement in episode 2 that the people would never accept a female king. Lord Lyman Beesbury angrily asserts that opposing Rhaenyra as ruler would be treacherous. Except for context, Beesbury's outburst in episode 9 is similar to Vaemon Valerian's outburst in episode 8. Next off, House of the Dragon. What are the Targaryen rules of succession? House of the Dragon creates a direct conflict over the future of the Seven Kingdoms. Since the political battle is limited to the internal strife within House Targaryen, it would be a better location for those who are not fans of Game of Thrones to start. The Heirs of the Dragon, the show's opening episode, contains a number of throne-related claims. The events of House of the Dragon occur roughly 190 years before those of Game of Thrones. Daenerys Targaryen will ascend to the throne as a result of the events of the series, as stated in a brief line of text and narration that plays before the episode's title cards, Emilia Clarke. The governing king, Aegon Targaryen, commonly known as Aegon the Conqueror, brought the Seven Kingdoms of Westeros together before the events of House of the Dragon. Aegon and his dragon's tails are mentioned multiple times in Game of Thrones, and are regarded as a turning event in Westeros history. Next up, is it a rule that men will always be chosen to rule? King Viserys I succeeded King Jaehaerys I, who held the Targaryen throne for one of the most extended periods of time. As the king who presided through relative calm in Westeros, Jaehaerys was beloved by his subjects. According to the Heirs of the Dragon, Viserys had held the throne for about 10 years after being picked by the Great Council. The prince's sister, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, Eve Bast, also sought the throne, but the council decided on a male king. With his wife, Queen Aemma Arryn, Viserys anticipates having a male heir, but tragedy strikes. When Viserys learns that his wife is dying during childbirth, he must decide whether to save the mother or the child, but not both, during a royal tournament held in his son's honor. Even though a risky treatment was carried out to preserve the infant, Aemma and her son passed away. Viserys is heartbroken by this. He is not in a position to consider politics, but he must decide whether to alter the gender roles in the Seven Kingdoms. The king's brother Daemon would inherit the throne without a male successor, but Viserys and some of his council members conclude that Daemon might not be the rightful successor to the Iron Throne. The City Watch's leader, Daemon, guides the defenders of King's Landing in a savage raid on the city's criminals. Viserys is upset by a callous statement Daemon later makes regarding the queen's and her son's deaths because he encourages violence. Next off, how is newly leaked BTS drama surrounding House of the Dragon alarming? The tension on the House of the Dragon set is just as dramatic as the drama on film. Like everyone else, we enjoy our behind-the-scenes drama, but we could never have predicted that the House of the Dragon set would be rife with it. According to a report from media startup Puck, co-showrunner Miguel Sapochnik's departure from the popular HBO series was less amicable than first believed. Alexis Rabin, Sapochnik's wife, participated casted as an actor in 4 episodes of House of the Dragon and was credited producer in the first season. HBO reportedly declined Sapochnik's request to have Rabin join the producing team for the program's second season due to inexperience. Others, however, believe in Condell's showrunning abilities and are excited to see what he can do by himself in the upcoming second season. He seems like a true book fan and someone who is genuinely in it out of being a fan, and who has a lot of respect for George, not just someone involved for a resume builder, as one of the fans put it on Reddit. Although turbulence behind the scenes of a television program is not unusual, hearing of such conflict on the House of the Dragon set is definitely unexpected. We hope the drama will remain on screen and the cast will work together to provide an excellent second season scheduled for 2024. Next up is the crucial cast expected to return in season 2. Olivia Cooke, Alicent Hightower, Emma Darcy, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, Matt Smith, Prince Daemon Targaryen, Fabian Frankel, Kristen Cole, and Eve Best are all anticipated to reprise their roles. The cast has not yet been announced. Rhaenys Targaryen, the performers who portray the future Targaryens, including Tom Glencarney, Aegon II Targaryen, Ewan Mitchell, Aemon Targaryen, and Phaya Saban, Helena Targaryen, are also anticipated to return. Elliot Gryholt, Lucerys Valerian, Baela Targaryen, Bethany Antonia, and Rhaena Targaryen, Phoebe Campbell, are also set to make a comeback. There are no plans to bring back the younger iterations of Rhaenyra and Alicent, who Millie Alcock and Emily Carney respectively portrayed. Ryan Condell, the show's creator, did not wholly disqualify further performances. He said, "I mean, look, I don't know. Rhaenyra and Alicent, who are younger, are not yet a part of the story we're telling. Yet is the essential word here. Condell allows room for the future." Next off, House of the Dragon star Paddy Considine burst into tears watching Viserys' scene. What makes him so emotional? Paddy Considine, who plays King Viserys in the movie House of the Dragon, has spoken candidly about his experience reviewing his final scene. The actor acknowledged that the deteriorating state of his character before his passing caused him to burst into tears, since it brought up painful memories of a family loss. "I didn't watch episode 8, but my wife had watched it, and my daughter, and they were pretty upset with it," Considine explained while speaking on the Adam Bruxton podcast. "My wife said, just watch the end. Years ago, I'd watched my dad die of cancer, and he just went downhill rapidly from being diagnosed to being on death's door. You know, he became a skeletal so rapidly. So when my wife showed me that end thing and my face came up, I just burst into tears because I looked at the image of my dad when he was dying, the image of him, and it was shocking. It was really, really shocking to me," he further added. "I put so much of my mom's characteristics into this character Viserys, but when I saw that, I thought, that's my dad, and it was terrifying. So it was pretty impactful stuff." Considine said that he put everything into that character, which included a lot of days shooting from lying in that bed, as he reflected on the process of filming Viserys' death scene. The actor recalls his time portraying Viserys warmly, despite finding the character's death scenes in the Game of Thrones prequel series challenging to witness. Next up, how did HOTD fans react to House of the Dragon star Paddy Considine's Golden Globes 2023 nomination snub? GOT and HOTD fans are outraged at Paddy Considine's Golden Globes 2023 admission. When the Game of Thrones spin-off aired in October, the House of the Dragon actor received tons of praise for portraying King Viserys I Targaryen. The HBO series has been included as a nominee for Best Television Series Drama and Emma Darcy for Best Performance by an Actress in a Television Series. In contrast, Considine has been denied the ability to compete at this year's awards event. The popularity of House of the Dragon, which averages over 29 million viewers every episode, speaks for itself. Contrary to Game of Thrones, the spin-off series held viewers' attention from the first episode onward because of compelling performances from actors like Considine, whose character's arc was crucial in igniting the most anticipated Targaryen civil war on the program. House of Dragon viewers are full of praise for the breathtaking performance of Considine. Considine was so emotionally attached to the character of Viserys that he broke into tears when Viserys took his last breath. What did you think of King Viserys' plotline in the series? Will the coming series House of the Dragon sustain the same viewership? And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you at the next one.